What's going on, guys? What's going on? Welcome back. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about real estate. My name is Ola, coming to you live from my myEmpirePRO studios. I am the author of Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, and you can get this book right here. This book is you can download it for free at myEmpirePRO.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com. Any one of those platforms will give you access. So let's talk about it. We're gonna have some fun today. I got a couple of things I want to cover, maybe two or three things. We come here at 4 p.m. on 4 p.m. every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, except tomorrow. So I'm letting you know right now, I will not be live tomorrow at 4 p.m. because I have a meeting that was pre-scheduled that I have to be at tomorrow. All right. So with that being said, let's just get started. If you feel free to introduce yourself, if you want to do that. In the meanwhile, I'm just going to get started. Like I said, we have a couple of things that I wanted to cover today. Let me see here. The first thing I want to cover is 228 cities. There's an email that I sent out earlier today. And there's an email these are emails that I send out, daily newsletters that I may not always have the time to show them to you live here. So you want to make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. And the way you do that is, again, download the book at Smart Real Estate Wholesaling. That will automatically get you subscribed to the daily newsletters where I share insights, I share some lessons, I share what's going on with the game. And it's free, so you might as well just sign up for it, right? Many people get frustrated out of the business of flipping houses because there is no source of joy or sense of progress until they close an actual deal. I'm reading now, okay? For example, I provide a list of 228 cities where I recommend that you focus on because the other cities are rural areas where everyone wants to sell, but no one is buying. So what does it mean when people want to sell? If most people want to sell in a particular market and no one is buying, right? That means you have an overdose of inventory. This inventory is not the problem. The problem is that there are no buyers. If there are no buyers, you can basically expect that that market is slow. If the market is too slow, it's going to be very hard for you to make money. Okay. On the flip side of things, you want inventory, right? So there's always a sweet spot in between. You don't want too much supply. You don't want too much demand. There's a sweet spot in between. And for me, I don't overthink that. I just keep it simple. There has to be enough money moving from hand to hand. From hand to hand, the market has to be fast enough. Okay. So there are 228 cities that I give away absolutely for free with the program, with the 11 days challenge, where you will. But basically, they're just high populated cities. They're the top 5 cities in any given state, plus the state capital. But even if you want to take that further, you can even narrow down to top 100 cities in the nation, or you can narrow it down to top 100 most densely populated city in the nation, right? Excuse me, I'm a little tired if you can't tell yet, but we got to get started. We got work to do, right? So we have to keep going. All right. So if that makes sense, so there's 228 cities, basically including the top 5 cities in any given state. There are 50 states in the United States, right? Minus the states that I don't recommend that you go into because of the legalities frowning at wholesaling, right, as a strategy. So we're talking about Ohio, we're talking about Oklahoma, we're talking about Illinois. And generally, if you don't live in Hawaii and Alaska, I advise that you stay inland, right? So that's about 5 different states right there. And then also minus California and New York because there are too many sharks, right? There's highly sophisticated agents and investors. And if you're a complete newbie, you will struggle in those areas. New York, California, all right? Those New York and California states, right? Now, in addition to that, Oklahoma, Ohio, Illinois, because basically legislators don't know what they're doing, right? Then the other ones, Alaska and Hawaii, right? Then no Puerto Rico or things like that, right? No islands, right? All right. So that's basically what the 228 cities is about. So I say I've done the work and explained why you should focus on these places. The way I coach is a little different because your success starts at stage 1, data, right? So stage 1, data, contact, leads, contracts, deals, right? So some of you, if you were here yesterday, you would have seen this: data, contact, leads, contract, deals. Those are the 5 stages of flipping houses with no money down, with no credit or anything like that, specifically towards buying the property. You don't have to come up with any money. The only thing is that you have to market, you have to train yourself, so that may cost money. All right, and that has nothing to do with buying houses. This is basically the skills of it involves skills of marketing, but the specific things you have to do with respect to real estate, and it starts with data and all the way to deals, and ends the name of the show, from data to deals, right? All right, so waiting until stage 5 to measure success is giving you unnecessary anxiety and increasing your chances of failing. So it is best to identify the stages, the processes in each stage, so that you can execute your plan on SMART goals. What is SMART goal? Okay, SMART goal is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. The part that I really enjoy the most about this is measurable. You can literally measure your success as you go, not without having to wait until you actually close a deal. At that point, it's probably never, right? Meaning you don't even know what you're doing wrong. You want to be able to track your success stage by stage, process by process. Did I do that right? Okay, now I can move on to the next stage. Things like that. That's how you want to look at this. Okay. All right. So that's what the 11 days challenge is all about. You can ensure your success by tracking and measuring everything like a true professional. That's what professionals do. Professionals don't just walk around and say, hey, I'm a wholesaler, I'm just going to close deals, and I'm just going to cold call people and just going to do it forever until I get frustrated out of the business. Professionals say, no, this works because people are closing deals. So we're not just going to say, just in case I close a deal. We're going to measure everything, make sure that from milestone to milestone we're accomplishing, and then by default you do deals. Okay, you do deals, and it doesn't matter when you do the deal because you can see your progress as you're going. You don't want to wait until you've done the deal before you realize that, oh yeah, because then basically you're counting on getting lucky, and it may not happen. Okay, because that's why you call it luck and miracle, right? So, are we still talking about flipping houses? Yep, we are. But you have to measure. You have to measure your progress. All right. So, with that being said, there was so I've touched on that. The second thing I wanted to touch on, which I have touched on a little bit, is population and density. Right. Every town in the United States does not necessarily fit the criteria you're looking for. Okay, it's either prices are priced too low. If prices of houses are $10,000, $20,000, and things like that, it's going to be very hard for you to make money that's worth the effort that you're going to be applying into marketing for this business. It's not going to be worth it for you. Okay, so the idea is you're looking for somewhere between 5 and 10% of whatever the property is worth, and you want to pocket that and make that money and go home, and you're not responsible for a property. You don't have to take care of tenants and stuff like that, right? So what is 5 to 10% of $20,000? 10% is $200. No, $2,000, right? 5% is $1,000, right? This is a real business. So it's going to take some effort on your part. And it's actually better. It's just, I don't know if you agree. It's just better when you can go home with $15,000, $20,000. Okay. So I would suggest that your property that you're dealing with $100,000, $150,000 preferably and above, no more than $500,000, because then you get into a different zone entirely, which is another reason why we avoid New York City. We avoid sophisticated areas where prices are too much and there's too many shocks because of the big money. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, there's nothing wrong. Again, there are buyers in all these places and there are sellers in all these places. But again, competition, you want it to be healthy in a healthy level so you can play, right? You want competition, but you want it to not be too much, right? All right. So density is how many houses, how many people in a particular area, right? So case in point, let me share this with you right now. So you go to Wikipedia, you get this list in Wikipedia, list of United States cities, right? So I'm just going to use this now for if you're in my program, I already gave you a list. But you look at this list right here, this list of I think it's about about 150, about 200 list of top cities in the United States. These are the cities that you should spend most of your time in. But it's not just simply like it doesn't like just because a city it has the highest population doesn't mean you have your best chances there, right? So so for example, we're looking at let's look at 2019 estimate, right? So you have Woodbridge, New Jersey. This is my town, okay, happen to be the smallest on the top list based on population and based on this criteria anyway, right? So so in the you can see here 4,000 square by per mile, 4,000 plus people per square mileage. Okay, that's the density. So if I click on this column header again, I see the lowest here's 175, Anchorage, Alaska. You see why I stay out of Alaska, right? It has a high population, but it's a big piece of land and isolated in the middle of nowhere. Of course, there are investors there. I just don't want to spend my marketing dollars and my time and resources trying to find out if it's, I just want to stay inland where there's more people in a smaller piece of area. So not just that inland, but if I go here, if you go to Macon, Georgia, so I'm probably not going to go to Macon, Georgia. There's a lot of people. It's fairly a lot of people. It's a top city in the United States based on population. But the density, that means there's too many land. So you have to go, like you're gonna have problem with comps, okay, comparables. That's essentially what I'm saying. So if you're trying to generate comparable to find out the value of a piece of property, you're gonna have problem generating comps. You're gonna have to go outside of 1 mile, outside of 2 mile radius to find comparables for your property. And the investors you're looking to work with, you need enough investors. You need enough cash buyers. So there's less investors investing in places that are rural in nature. There are less investors investing in the country, and there's less data. Remember that rule that I gave you about Zillow and how to use Zestimate? Zillow is going to have a hard time finding data to compare your property to. Trulia.com, Realtor.com, even your comparable software, even the EmpireBigData.com is going to have a problem finding comps for your properties. And that means you're going to have a problem finding buyers for your contract. You're going to lock up a lot of contracts that you can't sell. So people are going to want to sell, but you're not going to be able to sell. Does that make sense? So that's what this is. Okay, that's what this is. So I wanted to spend the next 12 minutes analyzing data here. So we have to go to right about now. We will go to Phoenix, Alabama. Did you know there's a city called Phoenix with no O? There's no O in Alabama. Did you know that? And then there's another city called. These are all small town, by the way, and these are the typical town I wouldn't want to be in. But when you market, we use Facebook marketing as well. And when you market on Facebook, some people are going to be in, for example, some people are going to be in, let me use an example here. They're going to be in Jacksonville, Florida, but they actually have a property in the middle of nowhere in Phoenix, Alabama. So they submit the lead, and then we still try to process the lead. All right, so that happens. So even though we're targeting the right market, so for example, if you're using the 11 days challenge, the regular one, you wouldn't have this problem because you're targeting based on the actual property that are in distress, that fits the 11 points distressed stack filter, right? So you wouldn't have this problem. But if you're marketing using PPC, targeting online marketing and stuff like that, people will submit leads in the middle of nowhere, and you should don't pass on it. Okay, take advantage of it. All right. So that's what this properties are. So we basically had to go into Empire Big Data and just to see what we could do with it, right? Because it just doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to see if we can do something with it, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So I've already pulled the list. I've skip traced the list. But what I want to do is I wanted to spend some time on how I sort the list so you can see this here. So we'll go under contacts. All right. So once it's already skip trace, it will be under contact. If it's not already skip trace, when you pull a piece of data, they will be under properties, my properties, essentially, right? So Let's go back to under contact. Let's see here. All right. All right, so then we're gonna go to, so we got Waverly. It's a very small town. So I only have 13 cash buyers in the last 1 year. I'm not even sure if it was the last 1 year. Yeah, last 1 year. And then we also have the other one is Phoenix, Alabama. This one right here, right? So it says complete, right? So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let's use the Phoenix, Alabama one. It's a sizable list, right? And then I'm going to export this list. Export like that. Yay. All right. So all right, so let me see. So it's already exported. We're going to go pull it into Google Sheets. Let me close this. Quit Excel. All right, so we're going to go to Google Sheets. If you use Google Sheets, it's free if you have a Gmail account. And we're going to import into Google Sheets. All right. All right. Let's just open a new one here. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna import, and we're gonna upload it. It should be in my download folder somewhere. Date last added. All right, found it. All right, so I'm gonna show you insert. We're gonna insert this here. All right, so this list is Phoenix, Alabama, cash buyers. All right, so what stage, why are we doing this? Okay, it's very important that I explain this just in case you're brand new. Why are we doing this? Why are we looking for cash buyers? So if we go back here to this right here, data, you pull data of distressed properties, people that are in pre-foreclosure, vacant properties, properties that are not producing for the owners. So hence the reason why they need to sell at a discount, right? We contact them in stage 2. That's just marketing. Okay, that's just a fancy word for marketing. Stage 2, right? When people say, yes, I do have a property I want to sell, basically your leads, that's a lead that has just been generated, and then you want to negotiate and give them a contract. Once a contract is signed, you're now in stage 4, and then you now have to sell that contract. Okay, you want to sell that contract to, or you can call it assign the contract to an end buyer, a cash buyer, preferably an investor, basically a person that will buy the house, fix it up, right? Add some value to it and list it back on the market for profit, right? That person is happy to pay us 5, 10, 20, $82,000, which is my highest, because I help them find a deal. Okay, so these people are investors. They don't have time to learn all this marketing stuff, and you get paid because you market to find these deals. And you can do it all from your laptop, right? You can do it from your laptop with an internet connection, and that's all this is about. That's what this is about. So now we're in stage 5, and we need to find a buyer. We found a deal in Phoenix, Alabama, and we need to assign it to a buyer. So what we do is we go into Empire Big Data, and then we find all the people that have purchased in the last 1 year that have actually invested in the property. So they are proven people that have money, and they purchase this property as cash. Okay, so we look for them and we contact them. Okay, and how we do that? We do that in bulk. So we don't put any one individual on a pedestal, because when you do that, you will be disappointed, because people are people. But when you do it in bulk, you do a batch collection of data. So basically everything you did on stage 1, you're kind of doing it all over again. But this time we're not looking for sellers. We're looking for people that have purchased and sold in the last 1 year. Okay, potential buyers. We also do pull a list called the flipper agents. Okay, these are agents that have worked with people that flipped a property. They are some of the best people that will help you assign the deal. When you talk to those people, the language they understand is commission, especially if it's full commission. Okay, and that's it. They help you find a buyer. So let them know, hey, I got this deal. I got it under contract. I don't think I have the resources to get it done, but it's a really good deal. Do you have cash buyers? I'll pay you full commission. And the right people will say yes. A few people will say, "No, I don't have time for that." Right? Are you a wholesaler? I don't deal with that. Right? Well, you should never say yes if somebody asks you if you're a wholesaler, because you're not a wholesaler. You're an investor. Okay, you're a marketer, and wholesaling is just one of the strategies that one of the exit strategies available for you. Okay. All right. So with that being said, we got this list right here. Okay, we got this list, and we got some individuals. Okay, so let me delete. So I manipulate this data. I have a person do it for me. Eventually, you will be able to afford a person to do this for you for $2, $3 an hour. They'll help you and they'll manage your business. They can actually run the whole business. I tell people sometimes, listen, 11 days challenge is not necessarily for you. It's for you to be able to plug somebody in, you run them through it. They know exactly what to do. They run the whole business for you. Essentially, that's how simple it can get. All right. So what I always do first, I keep I freeze this column, right? So I do that here at freeze, one row. That way I can scroll through without that column having to move. So I select this part right here. Okay. When I select the corner, I select everything, right? I always rename this, say all cash buyers. I could do cash buyers, all, right? So and that's that. Now, so we have I don't really need in this list right here. Sometimes I keep all of the columns. Sometimes I don't, depends on the mood I'm in. But generally we keep the columns just in case we need to reference anything here, right? So, but we have the property that they actually purchased, but we also have the mailing address of the actual person. So you can tell that this property was supposed to be in Phoenix, but this is Columbus, Georgia, right? Phoenix, Alabama, but Columbus, Georgia. So this is actually a person who purchased a property in Phoenix, Alabama, and they're in New York. They have a physical address in New York. So you have all those kind of things there. So there are a couple of groups of people on this list. So if you scroll to the right, you see we have cell numbers, we have landlines, right? We have emails. I didn't pull email on this, okay? In recent times, I've noticed that email addresses are not pulling accurate. If you pull emails, it's okay. Just understand that about at least 50% of them will be wrong emails, okay? But the phone numbers are pretty good, all right? They're pretty good, enough for you to get some deals done, okay? All right, so I delete this column. I do know that they're all owners, so I delete this column as well. They're all new on this list, so that's fine. Let's see here. Highlight this and just just drag it just enough to cover that. I don't need this column right here. Delete is also, we have the landlines, we have the cell numbers. Okay, so there are three groups that I need to extract out of this, and then and what are those groups, right? First thing I do is I go here, I select this arrow, I will duplicate that. Okay, then I'll go back and rename this. So it's duplicated as sheet, right? It's called a sheet because this is a spreadsheet, right? And then I'll take this out, take that out, and I'll say cell. Okay, first priority is cell numbers. Okay, so cell numbers, I go after cell numbers, literally text everybody, and give them a little teaser. I give them the street address, give them the city name, and I tell them how much I'm asking and what the ARV is. Are you interested in more information, comparables, and photos? It's as simple as that. I send them a text message. Majority will not respond. Some will say yes. Some you will do some deals with. You close $10,000, you're happy. It doesn't matter. You go home. Okay. All right, so we have the cell numbers, but now this is the same list. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to go on the data sort range. Data has header. I'm going to go to cell numbers. Okay, so I'm sorting by cell numbers from top to bottom. I'm going to sort. Okay, and then now you see that everything that has cell number in column number, cell number 1 is at the very top. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything from 22 and below that, I'm going to delete them off this list. Those are the only records that came back with cell numbers. Delete. Okay. All right. So now we have all of this. We have everything here. Okay. All right, so this is the sheet with the cell numbers, so I can delete everything with landline. I can delete all the landlines off of here, right? And then the delete. Okay, so I have all of the cell numbers here right now. I don't need this column right here. I'm going to delete this, right? Welcome back, babe. All right, so, and you can see here that the company name, all of the cell numbers only came with people with individual names, okay? But they bought a house for cash, so it doesn't hurt to contact all of these people, text them, manually sit down, copy, paste, use their first name. So you say something like, hey, Timothy, and then you paste the same text message to them, basically teasing their interest or picking their interest on the property. Street address, city name, asking price, ARV. That's all you need to put to pick their interest. And then once somebody responds, then you have a communication with them. You have a conversation with them, rather, right? All right. So you can see some of this came back with multiple numbers. That's even better, right? So, and you sit down, you just do it. If you sit down through this and you text this 30 minutes later, you have $10,000 in your pocket. How sweet is that? All right, so the next one I need to do is go back to this all, right? So I already got the cell numbers out. I'll go back here and I'll duplicate this again, right? But this time around, this is going to be landline, okay? So just in case I go through all the cell numbers, I don't find anything, I will still pound the calls. You want to go hard, okay? This is worth it. Again, we're talking about 10 grand, 20 grand here. These are all the landlines, right? Okay, so you're literally one step away. Here's the problem that I notice a lot of people have when they try to come into this game. They don't realize there are stages, right? They oversimplify it. This game is really simple. It's as simple as the stages I just shared with you right here. It's really this simple, but again, there's a difference between easy and simple, right? As a matter of fact, easy, difficult, hard, those words are not relevant. Okay, they're just not relevant because again, we're talking about 10 grand check. Okay, so it's worth it, right? If you go through the process. So this is the landline, the same process we're going to go through here. Select the corner right here. You sort range, data has header like this, and you go here and you go sort by landline. Okay, A to Z, that's perfectly fine. And then now you have all the names that has a landline. You now have them at the top, 29 of them. Okay, and we're going to delete everything else. Okay, and you can delete all the columns, including the cell numbers as well, up to here. Okay, so you know where to go. If you want to sit down, you want to text all the cell numbers. That's always the first thing I do. Okay, that's the first thing I do, right? So the next data that I need to sort out is the LLC numbers. Your best buyers are gonna be on. They're going to be on an LLC list, okay, because they don't use their personal name to buy. A lot of these people are just cash buyers that are not necessarily investors, okay? So just keep that in your mind. Some people have cash. They pay cash for the property. That don't mean they're investors. So the most important list here is what I'm about to do last here, which is basically the LLCs. So I'm going to duplicate again, okay? And now we have that list here. I'm going to rename it, right? LLC. And that means corporate companies. So in the LLC list, you will have some banks and stuff like that, So just keep that in mind. So select this. By the way, keep in mind when people tell you they're giving out free games, okay, this is games, okay, not just people talking how the game works. You can Google that, you can find that anywhere. But in terms of click and showing you over my shoulder how things work, I don't know too many channels that do that, okay, on a consistent basis. All right, so just keep that in mind. You want to make sure you're subscribed here because from time to time I will bring the real game. All right. Short range data has error. Okay. Now we want to sort by company name because they all come in company names. And by the way, they don't have phone numbers. It's very hard for the skip trace machines to skip trace LLCs because then you have to trace the company names to the person who owns them and now find their cell numbers. Okay. So company name, I'm going to give you again free game in a second here. Company name, sort, boom. All right, so we have all the companies at the top, right? Everything else are probably either we already extracted the phone numbers out, or they don't have a phone number, but they probably wouldn't be on this list if they don't have a phone number of some sort. So unless they're LLCs, okay? So there we have it, okay? So we have this LLC, and then we're going to let's see here. Just delete all of these columns right here. Access columns, delete them off, right? All right, so we have first name, last name. We're just going to change that to name, and we're going to change this to wireless. I'm going to show you what to do with this in a second. All right. So we have want to make sure there are no banks on this list. Okay, it's a very small list. No banks, no churches. I think you can see a church already, right? A couple of churches. All right, so the church is buying properties. We don't want to worry about that. We need people. I don't know what this means, but it doesn't have an LLC on it. Chances are they're not, and it's such a long name that most investors will not use, right? What about this one? Trinity looks like another temple somewhere. So we're going to delete those off the list. All right. They bought some kind of residential. That doesn't mean they're not investors. Okay. But we have holdings, that's more or less an investor. Properties, that's probably an investor. A realty LLC, it could be a brokerage or something like that, but I will still call them still because I call agents anyway. Builders, for sure. Morrison Roads, for sure. LLC is LLC, it's LLC, LLC. And then we have a Baptist here, church here. We're going to delete that off the list. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So 8 potential people that can give me $10,000 in the next 24 hours. Copy. I'm going to copy this. Okay. And we're going to go into a page called the Open Corporates. Okay. I have them bookmarked. You should do the same thing. Okay. Opencorporates.com. Paste that in there and I just search. And then this is in Phoenix, Alabama. So I can narrow down to Alabama right here by clicking right there at Home Holdings. I click into it, right? Simply click into it. Now I have all the names of these people, right? So I got a couple of names. I got James Ricky Bingham, and I got Keith. Okay, and these are all members, ownership, right? So what do I do with this? You betcha. All right, that's the same name here. So I do basically highlight. I need to extract this into my spreadsheet. Okay, so I'm going to insert because that's 3 names, right? I'm going to insert. So I'm going to paste them right here. Right click, paste. Oh, okay. I got to use this. Copy paste. All right. So and now you have the names there. Clean it up. It's only 8 companies or something, right? All right. So I got names now. I got names that I can literally go find their phone numbers. Okay. So the next step is to find phone numbers. This thing has links in them. Sometimes I break them, but you don't have to, because if you click on it, to warn you anyway. But it has links in it because you copied from a website. All right. So we're gonna actually find the wireless numbers as well. So let's go find this one. Copy Catarang. Let's go find Catarang Properties. Paste that in there. Properties LLC. Boom. That's it. Alabama. There's only one in there. And now I found the name too. And this is just one name. It's only one name. William Niles. Okay. That's an investor in the last 1 year in that area. I put that on that list. Okay. Kirkland Realty. Let's go see. If it's a brokerage, chances are you won't be able to find the actual name of the person. Kirkland Realty, Alabama. But there's a Richard Coughlin here. It could be the same guy, right? I never know, right? So we do have agent name, same guy, right? Same guy as the director's officer. And then we're gonna paste that here. Okay. Let's see here. Let me go back and check that other company. Yeah, it's probably the same guy, right? But there's a Martha Webster. Okay. I want Martha's name as well, right here. Same people, probably same people, right? Again, we're just gonna find wireless numbers so we can text those people and see if we can do a deal. All right. All right. Just so you know, I'm missing one thumbnail, one thumbs up. Sorry, one thumbs up. So you can help me add it to it if you're finding value in this. And I'm gonna post Morrison Roads. We found it, and we have a couple of names here. James Williams, same guy, same guy. Okay, same guy. Basically, want to post that here. Rental properties. That's what they do. That's a person I need to get a hold of. Okay. All right. So that's a person I need to get a hold of. And keep in mind, when you call these people, your prices are not written in stone. You just want to find out how much they will pay. Whoever is more interested, even if you have to go back and renegotiate, you do that, you know. But that's how easy this is. Keep it simple. You don't have to leave your house. All right. So I just posted this all week's properties. Nothing came up. All right. I don't waste my time, especially if I have other people on the list. I don't do any more research. I just delete off the list. Reala LLC. Let's see if we can find this. Okay, so we got a couple, and they're both in Alabama. It's probably the same people. Okay, so we got Wisner Michael. Okay, same guy, but we also have a Gregory Gray. So I'm gonna copy both. Take my time. This is worth it. Take your time. Don't rush through this. This is $10,000 we're talking about, right? $10,000 we're talking about. Insert, because I'm going to put two names here. Okay. So I have another name here, which is Gregory Gray. Copy. All right. This is, and then I'll put here. What I like about Google Sheets is that you're not just going to click and then take you to another page. Even if there's a link in it, you can break it. It will warn you before it take you out of the page, unlike Excel. Okay. All right. So there's another name that was close to that. Reala, the actual name actually is the actual name actually. Okay. So that's this person. That's Charles Floyd III, and then owned by Trivest Group LLC as well. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. So I'm not sure how accurate it is. I'm just going to call everybody. Text everybody first. Okay. Try to text everybody first because people appreciate text messages. At least they get to disregard it if it's not for them. Okay. There was one more. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, I got that name out of there, but there's this Travis Group LLC. It's an LLC. So what I want to do is I want to right click here, copy, and paste it right in here because it's an LLC, right? Then see if I can come up with more people. See, Alabama, right? Same people. All right. So now I found that same name, owner, right? But I found another two people, Catherine and Larry Kite, right? That's all right. And what do they do? Any lawful activity. Isn't that awesome? That's awesome, right? All right. So I'm going to insert two more rows here and then paste those names there, right? Boom. All right. Let me see what's going on here. All right. Well, thank you for that thumbs up, by the way. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Let's not be selfish. Let's spread the word so other people can learn from what we're doing, right? All right. So that's it. We got that name. So remember that this right here is for this same names right here. Same thing for this one. I don't even do that generally. It's just the name that I care about because I don't need the LLC names right now. For all you know, they may not use the same LLC to buy a property, right? But these are the people. It's the people, just like the properties when you are pulling data for properties, you need the people behind the house. That's when it become a lead. That's stage 3, right? A lot of people get stuck on data. That's why they drive for dollars thinking they're in business, right? That's just data collection. If you don't talk to people, if you're not talking to people that potentially control those properties, you're wasting time. It's the same thing with the LLCs. You need the people behind this LLCs, and that's what we're doing right now. And and because you're so close to money, you don't have to do anything in bulk. Deal with them one on one, and get the property assigned and keep it moving to the next one, right? So this is Total Lake Properties. We found it, and then we have Kenneth Cochran. All right, it's the only owner, right? And what does it do? Deal in or with real or personal property or any interest therein. All right, so that's awesome. Since 2014, these are the people I want to be talking to, right? All right, so what's the next step? What's the next step now? We found the names. Remember, I created a name, I created wireless, right? What's the next step? Next step is that I'm going to go to another website, which I'm going to give it to you right now. It's called True People Search, I think. TruePeopleSearch.com. I have the bookmarked, so I didn't know the name. Called True People Search, right? And what you do is you go to each one of these names, right? Copy, right? Remember, when you see a comma, that means the last name came first, right? And we know that this person lives in they live in Alabama, but this person lives in Georgia. Majority of those people are in Alabama, but this one person, Michael K. Wisner, anybody on this list of Real A LLC, it's probably Real A LLC, right? These people may be in Georgia, right? So just keep that in mind. Let's go here, right? Bing Bang, James, Ricky, boom, you select it, right? And we know that this person is well, you could just go ahead and search, right? And then to tell you, see Alabama, like let's see here, do we see nothing was found? Okay, so I probably less is more when you're searching, less is more when you're searching, and it's always better to have the first name first, okay, and take out the middle name, right? And this is supposed to be in Alabama, but what you can do to narrow things down a little bit is you can literally go to the million city, which is Phoenix, Alabama. You can copy that and just paste it here. Right, just the city is fine, and then it will populate this, and you select that, okay, and then you want to do search, and boom, he's 52 years old, and view details. And we have two landlines. So if the landlines, it depends, okay. I just go after the cell phones first. People that are actively doing business, they have a cell phone. That don't necessarily mean they have a cell phone listed on into the public places, but let's just go after the cell phones first. I'm going to leave that alone for now, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone, because landline, that means I have to pick up the phone and actually call, and leverage is everything, okay. So let's just leave them alone for now. Let's go to all right, so this is the same thing essentially. Delete that off. Let's go to Keith, right? So we have Keith Norrid, and Keith lives where? Okay, Keith is part of this group, right? So we're gonna go back here, paste, and I'm gonna take the first name and put it on the front. Okay. All right, so Keith Norrid, and just click search. And Keith is the partner, is 54 years old, and he has a wireless number. Yay, right? He has a wireless number. That's what we're looking for. Copy. Okay. Why do I look for wireless numbers? Because I want to be able to text, simple as that. Control Z. Okay. We got too much in there. Let me just press enter. Control Z. Then paste it here again. There you go. So you take out the front character. The next person here is Kirkland Blankard, right? Let's go pull Kirkland Blankard. What city is it? Kirkland is in Salem, Alabama, right? So I'm just going to copy that and then paste that here. Salem, Alabama. Salem. There's no Alabama. Okay, there you go. So you have to put the. All right. So nothing. It was zero. Nothing came up. Kirk But I say, okay, there you go. That's the same guy. Looks like the same guy. So I probably had too much of the, and then remember the first name goes on the front, right? Search blanket. Less is more when you're searching. Just keep that in mind. Less is sometimes more, and that's him, right? And it's in Salem, Alabama. You want to click details, and then we got two wireless numbers. Yay, right? And I'm gonna right click, copy. Uh, what happened to now Williams? We didn't search. Interesting. Insert one above because I'm gonna put one there. I gotta go back to search that. All right, so I got two numbers here that I can literally text and call. The beauty about cell numbers, you can text and both call. If you get desperate and you really need to sell it and you're strapped on time or something like that, then you call. Okay. So let's go to Phoenix, Alabama to William Niles. Okay. So let's go back here. Yeah, let me take this out. Put this in the front. Comma. And this was in Phoenix, I guess. Phoenix, Alabama. Phoenix City, Alabama. And then we'll search. Then we got William G. Niles, 50 years old. So who is it? Let's see. Did we have a middle initial? We have R, right? Is this person right here? 54 years old. And all landlines. Okay. All landlines. Okay. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. All right. And let's go back to Martha. Let's go to Martha Webster. And Martha is in one town in Phoenix. Okay, good. So do this, Martha. Okay. And then search. And Martha is 93 years old. Interesting. Let me see down here. Let me put that name on the front just in case. Okay. Yeah, same person. She's 93 years old. Could she? It's a landline for obvious reasons. She probably has a landline or a cell phone that's not listed. But I probably would just not. This is MCP builder. She probably has people that work for her. I'll just leave it on list. James Williams in Seal, Alabama, right? James Williams, all right. Awesome. In Seal, Alabama, Alabama. All right. So James Williams, 78 years old here. Let's see. This is the one, 49 years old. This is probably the one right here. Not necessarily. There's another one here. Do we have a middle initial? I think so. E. So it's Earl. It's Earl Senior, who is 43 years old. He's in Seal, Alabama. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. And I have something else for him. So there's a wireless number. That's perfect. Copy. Okay. And then boom. And then we got Weisner, Michael Weisner in Columbus, Georgia, right? So I am from the East Coast of New Jersey. I don't know how far Columbus, Georgia is from that part of Alabama. I know that Georgia is right next to Alabama in some parts of it. In fact, I had a project in West Georgia in a town called, I forgot now. But anyway, let's go to where is this? Columbus, Georgia. There you go, Columbus. So we're gonna go through a couple of names on that list. Georgia, boom. 47 years old. Let's see. Let's make sure. Have a middle initial. So this is why you should keep the middle initial once you have it. It's K, right? And this is him. KY is now 65 years old, but there's a 42 years old person here. We're looking for the person in Columbus, Georgia. Let's see. But this one doesn't have a middle initial, and it's a junior. There's a couple of people here on this list. All right, so it's none of these ones. Okay, so it's probably K, right? It's K, right? 65 years old. So, and we got a wireless number, and copy, paste. Are you guys getting value from this? Can you please let me know if this was useful for you? If this was useful for you, that would be nice to let me know. Let's go to Gregory Gray. Uh, Gregory Gray in Columbus, Georgia. Did you have yeah, Gregory D. Gray. D. Gray. All right, so we don't have any D there. This is Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, Conley, Georgia. This is Tennessee. Used to live in Savannah. Let me see. Is it G? No, D. All right. So, what I do with this one? Okay, so let's go back here. Savannah, Georgia. I'm not going to use that. That's all the way in Ohio. This is Augusta, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. That's probably more like it. Either this one or this one. This is all Georgia. So there's three that are Georgia here. So these three that are Georgia, I already know that it's not this one because this has a middle initial. It's one of these two right here. So I'm going to take both. Okay. So this one has two wireless numbers. That's good. That just means additional chances I will find this person. Okay. All right. So you get the gist already now. You get the gist. Let's insert one more row here because I have another Gregory. This is the 49-year-old. Let's go to the 53-year-old. Remember, I'm going to send a text to them. I got two numbers here. Then if it's not the right person, they either say wrong number or they say, send me details, right? That's what will probably happen. Oh, just Z. I deleted that. Control insert. There's a second number here. All right. All right. So see, these are all the people I'm going to be reaching out to. Do you guys want me to finish? I got a few more on the list. You want me to finish or you want me to? I do have somewhere to run to. You want me to finish? This is Floyd Charles III. All right, let's do that. All right, so somebody's asking me here, are you selling the list to a buyer or inheriting the property on a contract before reaching out to a potential buyer? Always have it under contract first. Okay, that means you have to know what you're doing with regards to, is it a deal or is it not a deal? Is it the bad deal? Is it a good deal? Don't contact buyers unless you have, unless you have a property under contract. It's a waste of people's time. It's a waste of your time. Don't contact buyer. Hey, what's your criteria and all that stuff? You don't have to do all that. I know there are people that teach that as reverse wholesaling. But you want to treat this like a business. Like, don't put anything or any person or anything on a pedestal. Because what happens is that you go ahead and you call all those people, put them on a pedestal, calling them, what would you like? And now they feel like you're wasting their time. Plus, you're actually wasting your own time. And plus, you don't even know the business yet. You're just wasting time. Learn how to lock up a property under contract first. And then you're going to be assigning the contract to them. Okay. I don't know about the word inheriting. These people are going to be inheriting the contract of a property from you. You're assigning a contract to them. Okay. Are you selling the list to a buyer? No, you're selling the rightful ownership, the equitable rights in the contract to another investor. Okay. And these are investors that are basically, they already bought in the last 1 year from that area. Okay. All right. So, no, you don't have to. So, all right. No, you don't have to call them first. No, you have to lock up a property first, and then you can sell the rights in the contract. Okay, but the angle I'm always coming in from is leverage, doing the best, creating more resources, being more resourceful, creating more value in a short amount of time. Okay, time is like the most valuable asset that you have, and it's worse when you waste yours and you waste other people's time. That's just how I prefer to do the business. It's what's worked for me for the past 15 years. Okay. All right. So Floyd, this is Floyd Jr. Interesting. Floyd Jr. Let's see. I'm looking for senior, I think. I'm looking for senior. I don't have a middle initial. Well, I'm looking for the third. So it could be junior, I guess. Let me move the first name to the front. Sometimes that makes it different. It shouldn't really make it different, but sometimes it does. We got a couple here. Columbus, Georgia. This is 81 years old, 45. This is deceased. This person is deceased. Let's see. We're looking for third. This is Phoenix, Alabama. Okay, this may be and is a junior and used to live in Columbus, Georgia. So that's probably why his LLC is over there. Looks like the person I'm looking for. Okay. All right. So no landlines anyway. Okay. That's why you want to fly through this process as fast as possible. Let's go to Catherine Kite. Okay. So I'm doing a little bit of overtime today since we're close to finishing it. I thought this would take about 30 minutes, but oh well. Catherine C. Kite, Alabama, used to live in Georgia. Okay. Looks like the person we're looking for. The person is 44 years old. I think that's the person. Related to, let's see, because there's some other Kite. Larry Kite is here. Is there a Larry Kite on this list? Let's click on this. We do have a wireless number related to Larry Kite. Larry right there. Larry is on this list. Okay. So we're actually probably just going to click over to Larry from the bottom of the list. Copy. Okay. So we got a phone number for Catherine. And let's just go ahead and pull for Larry right from the bottom. Right here. Larry W. Kite. Was he a junior? No, I'm not sure. But we got a cell number here for Larry. Okay. So these people are actively in the real estate business as a family, clearly, right? And again, these are the people you want to talk to. All right. This game, you want to keep it flexible when you talk to the buyers. You may lock in a price of $60,000. They may say, no, I can't pay more than 40 for that. Okay, let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do. I'm gonna call you back. Let me see if I can get that price for you. Okay. And then you go back to the seller and see and let them know, but go through all your numbers and make sure that it's not just one person. Remember, you never want to put any one person on a pedestal, not because they're arrogant or anything, just may be something that doesn't work for them, right? So you want to make sure you have numbers in your favor all the time, okay? Leverage in your favor all the time, okay? There's one last one, Kenneth Cochran, okay? And this person should be in Phoenix. All right, and let me move this to the front. Let's go to Phoenix City. Phoenix, call them itself a city. So let's also Kenneth Cochran, Phoenix City. Okay, it looks like this person unknown age. Let's just click into that. There are no numbers. I don't think there are any numbers. Okay, so there's no phone numbers here for this person. Kenneth A. Salem, Alabama. All right, so let's try that. Okay, there's a wireless number here. I'm not sure if it's the right person, but we're gonna give it a shot. Let's just put it in there, right? And that's it. Okay, Total Lake Properties in Phoenix City, and let's say this property is 17th Avenue, Phoenix City, but PO Box 94, Phoenix City. Let's see if there's any such addresses here. All right. So how's that, guys? What do you think? Was that a useful thing? Did you You find value in that? So we have a list of LLCs. We have phone numbers. We have cell numbers. A bunch of cell numbers, frankly, and we got landlines. Okay. I go in this order: LLC, cell numbers, landline. When I'm reaching out to these people until I find my buyer, generally we just try to make $10,000 per deal. If we could make more, we make more. I know this took so long. Somebody said, "Let's click on this." What? This takes so long, bro. What? It takes long? Wow. Well, I'm teaching. That's why it took long. If you were doing it by yourself, it probably won't take as long. But again, we're one step away from $10,000. So if you think that took too long to make $10,000, then hey, be my guest. Whatever works for you. Okay. All right. So that's what I have for you today. Remember, I will be releasing videos all week long. I will not be live here tomorrow at 4 p.m. All right. Today was a one-off. I usually do about 30 minutes or 40 minutes at most. So, but this is again, this is stuff. Remember, if you were here earlier, I told you that some things you just give it to an assistant, you pay them $2-3 per hour, they get it done. These are the things. These are your, like, you pay them $2-3 per hour, they are literally working this process for you, $10,000 away, $20,000 away. My average is $25,000 per deal. Actually, my highest is $82,000 from one single deal. I haven't gotten close to that since 2006. My average is 25. Like I said, I'm just telling you what's possible. Okay. So with that being said, if you are interested in this whole thing, right, and you're brand new here, go get the book. It's free. SmartRealEstateWholesaling.com. This is mindset stuff. 82% of what you're going to be doing is about your mindset. The reason why a lot of people get into this game and get frustrated is because the mindset was not in the right place. Okay. The rest of it is skill set. Okay. Rest of it is skill set. None of this is going to be a fly by night kind of thing. There's no get rich quick. It's get rich for sure. Okay. But not get rich quick. Okay. And if you consider getting rich in the next 3 to 5 years quick, then it's probably quick then. All right. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Yeah, you could get a VA assistant. You go to Upwork.com. You can hire somebody to help you get it done. But you want to make sure you know what you're hiring people for, because I know way too many people that hire people and fire all the time because they haven't really figured out the process. And you may think it's just $3 an hour, $4 per hour, but you're burning money up. Okay, make sure you know what you're doing first. But that's all I have for you on this episode. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. And then I will see you on the next one. Go download the book. Get started with 11dayschallenge.com, by the way. 11dayschallenge.com. If you haven't gotten started yet, go get started. Okay? Go get started because this whole process will get it all done. It's all set up in 11 days. And you know exactly what you're doing. And you can create a system for yourself to be able to do it over and over again. There's only one secret. Okay? There's only one secret. That secret is consistency. Consistency is hard as hell. Okay, it's very hard for any human being. So you want to make sure that you set yourself up so you can be consistent. That's why you don't want to engage in activities that you know you're going to quit tomorrow. If you're going to quit tomorrow, don't do it, because then you missed out the number one secret, which is consistency. But that's all I have for you today. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace. I can call you back.